Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say the Empire used the tears of his defeated foes to power the Death Star. All I know is I call him Stan.
Be sure to check out the prequel novelization of that. You can learn all about how I made people cry.
It's kind of like Borat. They just had Borat running behind, "Go Gypsy, give me your tears."
Yeah, that was it.
They just follow you around, collecting tears. It's like the greatest thing that powers a lightsaber, the tears of defeated foes of Stan.
That's it. Rewriting canon.
That's right. Just like Disney. So,
right, yeah.
What have you been up to this week?
Oh, man, I've been working, and more working. I haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of anything lately. It's been nuts. A few weeks late to the party, but I finally got around to watch the Black Mirror Bandersnatch episode, which, if you're not familiar with that, that's the choose-your-own-adventure version of the show. And it was okay. It wasn't really I can't talk tonight either. It's not really mind-blowing or anything, but it was decent for a Black Mirror episode. Not one of the best, but not terrible.
Well, did you hear the controversy with that?
No, but
they are being
go and tell me.
They are being sued for the idea of a create your own journey, and the people that did like the books, say they have a basically a patent or copyright. I forget how they actually phrased it, saying they own the idea of a create your own journey story. So they're suing Black Mirror Bandersnatch because they took their idea.
Wow. That sounds like somebody really reaching for relevance. Those scholastic book fairs just aren't paying the bills anymore, I guess.
Yeah, digital media taking everything away. They got patent collectors now, I guess.
So I mean, how come they aren't going after like Telltale Games or other forms of media that have like choose your own path stories?
I have no idea. The only thing I can even think of is at some point they did show that Netflix and Black Mirror actually contacted them to try to do basically sign over an adventure or like the idea and talk to them about co-producing an episode that would have a similar idea to this, and they couldn't come to an agreement. So Black Mirror just did it on their own, and they're saying,
okay.
Well, that was because they came away with our idea, I guess. I don't know. Everything to me, I was like, well, that's just the artistic style as far as doing that and creating your own journey throughout a story. I don't see how that's a patent idea or even a copyright for anything.
Well, I mean, we are in the darkest timeline, so any chance somebody can get to sue somebody else, they are going to take it.
Those lawyers.
That's it.
We'll have to get Arnold on it. Arnold, protect Black Mirror.
Yes, please. I like that show. It's one of the few good ones out there. But really, story and drama aside, the technology of it actually was pretty cool. It was fairly seamless the way it was done, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had to go through and watch it. I'm kind of interested in actually seeing how they implement it, but it does lead to a lot of interesting ideas that they can do that for a lot of other shows or even movies.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, let's see, kind of dusting off my astronomy book or hat or whatever, we got a lunar eclipse in North America tomorrow, the 20th. So if you're into that sort of thing, go outside and watch the moon get dark.
Isn't it like a blood moon or something also?
Yeah, we've talked about that before. It's one of those things to where they really try to sexy it up more than it actually is. When you hear the term like supermoon and things like that, it just means that the moon is on an elliptical orbit and it's in its closer phase and its more long phase. Like if you don't really know what you're looking for, you're not really going to notice it. It's, you know, a little bit brighter. It's going to be a little bit bigger in the sky, but it's not as crazy as people would have you believe.
Yeah, I wish I would be able to see that, because I'm not going to be, because I am stuck in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah, how's that treating you?
Oh, not too bad. I just shut my door and kind of ignore it for a while. Is my goal of the whole thing. Yeah, I travel.
That's like my goal of life. Shut the door and just ignore everything until it goes away.
Yep, but just hit lock and turned on Galaxy of Heroes, did everything this morning that I had to, and got back basically right as it started, and I don't plan on going out and doing anything until it ends tomorrow morning at some point. But other than that, I mean, I've been binge watching The Last Kingdom. I got really into that and just kind of binge watched the whole thing and burned through 3 seasons in a week and a half. So
oh, wow.
I really enjoyed that show. It was very neat. I kind of like the medieval time and seeing the politicking of how people go through and force their ideals and ideas upon people, and thinking everybody should follow a certain set of path, rather than it's like, oh, you don't follow my religion, so obviously you're wrong and you're a bad person because of that, even though everything they do shows they're actually a good person.
Right. I'm so glad that we have progressed past the Dark Ages and have reached such an enlightened society we're in now, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, well, let's not go down that rabbit hole, but
I was going to say that could get real deep.
Yeah, we're avoiding that like the plague. But yeah, talking about kind of medieval themed politics shows, did you see a little teaser trailer out there?
Which one? I don't know. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah, it's a little show called Game of Thrones.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
Did we?
Come on, yeah. See, that's why I was confused. I thought I missed something new, and I'm like, wait.
Yeah, no. I guess we did. Yeah, actually doing these back to back in our normal schedule has me all messed up.
You're waiting for a 2-week gap, like
usual. And that was a hell of a segue too, man. It's a shame that one got wasted.
Yeah, so let's just ignore all that, go right into the game like it never happened. How did you make out this week in the game? Because we had the Millennium Falcon hit, we had everything happening. So what all did you were able to accomplish?
Well, I've been saving up my gear, waiting for just the moment like this, and it finally came. Millennium Falcon came out. It kind of confirmed our suspicions that it would be a meta changer, game changer. So I went ahead and changed my fleet arena up and did all the gearing up associated with that.
So you kind of dropped the lead there. Where is your Millennium Falcon?
Right now it is at 6 stars.
6 stars, okay.
Yeah, I am 15 shards away on IG, and I will have my bounty hunters done. So I should have it at 7 stars in the next day or two. Definitely before the event closes out.
Very nice. So you were well prepared for that.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. We'll give you a couple more coins, and you did not.
I still don't have what it takes. I must
not
try
yet.
harder.
You were ready.
I will.
You were ready. You prepared. You trained hard.
I did. But I can train a little bit harder. Get my IG game up, and I'll be good to go. But yeah, I changed my fleet arena after a couple of months, or however long it was, for using the Geonosians with Houndstooth. Now I am using Akbar lead, so I had to put some gear on him. Finally got all of my capital ships maxed out. Got Mace done. Not that I'm really going to use them for much.
So wait, you got Akbar to gear 12 then?
Yes.
Oh, see, I'm trying to give you sounders here. You aren't giving me any chance here. Where's Maxed Mace? What is Maxed Mace? Is that his ship? Is that
his ship? His ship.
Okay.
His ship. He's gonna need a few more territory war bonus rounds for me to really go give him any more. He's sitting at gear 11. He's not bad. He's not bad.
That's May's ship. And then,
right.
So you have, what else did you get done here?
Well, like I said, been buying up prestige. I'm kind of waiting for a new capital ship to drop, and as I get enough over that 1950 limit, I'll go ahead and put it on Mesa's ship. He was the last one I had. I was sitting at 2,000, so I just went ahead and maxed out his capital ships. Now I'm completely done with all of them with their abilities with prestige mats and just banking for whatever next one there is. And that all of that said and done got me up to 4.48 million GP. So I'm knocking on 4.5. That's kind of my next milestone.
You're
I'm looking
sniffing
at.
that 4.5.
Sniffing 4.5.
All right. Just climb the ranks there. Climbing the ranks. Very nice.
So, yeah, it looks like you had a kind of a similar week. How did you turn out?
Yeah, I went through, did not get Millennium Falcon right away. I had to wait 2 days, day after the event started to get IG 2000 up to 5 stars, but I got him up to 5 stars, immediately got the Millennium Falcon, also put him in my fleet arena along, we'll get into the actual arena part of it here later, but ran into some difficulties with that team, so I also took my Akbar to Gear 12 specifically for Fleet Arena, and because I did that, I determined I completely out of challenge gold eyeballs. Completely. Have 0. Went through, actually was buying them, and just got Akbar to Gear 12 tonight because I finally got guild currency to be able to buy the last 5 that I needed. So, very weird situation. So now all my gearing, I have the other gold eyeballs. I've bought them. I do not have any challenge gold eyeballs. And did you know, for some reason, you cannot request people to donate those challenge gold eyeballs to you?
Yeah, I mean, where would the challenge be with that?
Well, you can request Carbantes.
Yeah.
And they're in the challenge. So
just making a terrible joke.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going through. It just seemed really, really odd to me that I was like, that was my first impression, like, yesterday when I needed the gold eyeball. I was like, oh, I'll just request it real quick. There's bound to be someone that just has thousands of them. Yep, nope, not allowed. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm waiting. Unfortunately, now all my scoundrels that I have ready to go up to Gear 12 as soon as I get stars, like, Kira I need more stun guns for, but Kira is close to Gear 12, Vandor Chewbacca is close to 12, L3 is close to Gear 12. They need gold eyeballs and do not have them because of the challenge ones. It's not nice. I do not like it. And I don't know if I'll be able to break myself actually buying them with crystals. Probably not. But either way, all of that got me to 4.1 million GP. So I think we were going through talking to Discord. One of the listeners, Zara, I think I'm going to try to match up GP with him so we can see if we can get matched up in Grand Arena together.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because he said he's at 4.107. I think he's said what he's at, and I have 2,500, or no, even more than that, 2,800 capital ship prestige banked for it, so I can go through and upgrade my capital ships up to where I need, because I don't have Mace or Tarkin maxed out. So it's going to be really easy for me to bump up my GP to get really close to him.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I kind of wish we could maybe request some sort of matchup or get in a queue or something like that. Kind of.
No, you know better than that, because people will manipulate that. So they would match up. So they would go against either their alt or their buddies, and then they would rotate who actually wins. And yeah, that is a rabbit hole you do not want to open up there.
We can't have nice things, but it'd be fun in a perfect world.
Yeah, in a perfect world where everybody's nice and no one fights, it would be great. So that's what we did this week. What happened this week in the news for Star Wars?
A few little interesting tidbits came out. They released some pictures of some of the prop displays that are coming to Celebration. We'll be able to get photo ops in them. They got the Lando's Millennium Falcon Lounge. They've got the original trilogy Millennium Falcon Lounge. They've got Emperor Palpatine's throne, just corridors of the Death Star and the Tantive 4, a speeder bike with a indoor bunker. This stuff like that is pretty cool. So I'm still just getting more and more excited every day. I know a few listeners are going. Hopefully we can do a meetup. Just continue that countdown for Celebration. Another one you might be interested in. There were some rumors about Matt Smith's role in the new movie.
Yeah, I just saw this in your notes, and I was like, I did not see this rumor. I'm pretty excited about it. So you have listed that he's rumored to be a Knight of Ren?
Yeah, that's what they're saying now. Earlier rumors came out, said that he would be a young Palpatine in sort of a flashback. So whether this is deliberate misinformation being put out or what, yeah, who knows? Take it with a grain of salt.
Young Palpatine would have to be way, way back.
Yeah. I'm
That's before the original movie, or before Episode 1, not the original movie, but
yeah. Well, they say he says he's wanting to tie all of the trilogies together with this movie. And so there's rumors that Plagueis will be involved, just all of it, and just closing the entire loop.
Oh, okay. So I could see that if he plays a young Palpatine, he could be on how Palpatine matches his Plagueis. It could be going through and hearing Palpatine hearing the story of Plagueis or meeting Plagueis at some point.
Yeah, I think it's going to be revealed that it was kind of hinted at in the Vader comics, but I think it will be further confirmed that Palpatine manipulated the Force to create Anakin, and how that leads to whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Another kind of.
So you're saying Palpatine created midi-chlorians?
No, he just manipulated them. He had a midi-chlorian remote and said, "Make a baby."
Make a baby. Make a baby.
Just make it.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'm more excited about him possibly being in there as like a young Palpatine, if it's Matt Smith, or just hearing that the Knights of Ren are actually going to make an appearance in the new movie.
Some of the things I've read, and y'all, if this is more spoilers than y'all want with the movie coming out, let us know. We'll do a more significant spoiler warning or whatever. But some of the rumors I've read that Knights of Ren will have a much bigger role in this movie than previous ones. It could be a lot more expanded.
Hey, I'm all about that. I've said from the first episode 7 that I wanted to see more of the Knights of Ren, especially after that trailer, because they looked amazing. And if they become a more prominent role in the movie, hopefully they'll come into the game, and that would be a really cool faction to have.
Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. And kind of similar kind of casting news, there was a story with Richard Grant. He's also going to be in the movie, and he was doing an interview with somebody, I forget who, but he mentioned that when he found out who he was playing, because when he auditioned for the role, it was I think using like World War II movies or some other types of stuff just to see if he fit the character. So he came in and did a reading, and when they finally revealed who he was reading for, quote, the room turned the room upside down when the name of the person was revealed to the crew. Right. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm getting it's months away, but I'm getting hyped up for episode 9.
I can't wait for a trailer to come out.
Yeah, we should be getting one pretty soon. If the last movie was any indication, I think we got our first look in January.
They'll probably wait till Celebration.
I think we'll get a full trailer then, or maybe an extended teaser. Super Bowl is coming up. If they're going to do anything, I could see a teaser or a name reveal or something like that for the Super Bowl.
I think you might be right. I think at the Super Bowl was the when the trailer dropped for the last movie.
I think so, if I remember right.
For The Last Jedi. So, yeah, that would be real cool. That would be here in a couple weeks. So
yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Seeing the Saints win the Super Bowl and get a trailer on the same night. That's gonna be a heck of a day. Can't wait.
You won't know what to do with yourself.
Well, not. Oh, let's see. They have a new TIE Fighter comic book and novel crossover coming out for the book Alphabet Squadron. And there's basically Star Wars TIE Fighter comics. It's set after Return of the Jedi, and it will deal with basically some TIE Fighters that are still fighting for the Empire after the Death Star is destroyed. I guess similar to Inferno Squadron, maybe carrying out Operation Cinder from that. And then Alphabet Squadron is chasing them down. And they are led by one General Harrison Dula.
Everything ties in. I like it.
It does. You got promoted, so good job, Hera.
I think they said that in...
Yeah, that's
one of the
was
episodes they went through, and they actually went through, and it's mentioned in the background. They're actually calling for General Syndulla.
That was in Rogue One. That was a soundbite on Yavin in Rogue One.
Yeah,
you can also see Chopper coming out of the hangar as well,
and the ghosts fly into the battle.
Yep.
So that all the news we got? We got it more?
A little bit more.
All right.
Kind of ended on a downer. You probably saw this out in the internet. The open world Star Wars game that EA Vancouver was working on has been canceled. This game, I guess, kind of started out as a Visceral Studio game with Amy Hennig. It was basically going to be Uncharted with Star Wars, which sounded great. That project got canceled because they wanted to focus on more of a, games as a service type game, like everything's moving toward now. They sent the project over to EA Vancouver, kind of reuse some of the assets, tried to rework it, and according to EA, just the scope of the project, the timing of it just wasn't going to work out. We got new consoles on the horizon. Who knows what else they're working on? They got Anthem coming out there. Just a lot of other stuff going on. So they scrapped this one yet again.
Yeah, an open world with lightsabers canceled again. It's just too much of a good thing, apparently.
Yeah, and I really don't know. A lot of stuff goes into this. These games are huge bets. I mean, look at Battlefield. They spent millions and millions of dollars to create that game, and it just kind of flopped on them. I don't know if they can afford another flop. And with the movies and everything, Star Wars isn't quite in the esteemed category it used to be, just across, with the fans and everything. So they may be a little gun shy.
Yeah, I can see that. EA has Madden, though. They make enough money.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of calls now for the Star Wars license to go somewhere else, or at least be opened up to other developers to give us something. I mean, we love Galaxy of Heroes. It's a fun game. There's some other decent mobile games that have come and gone. Battlefield 2 is, as far as I understand, still popular with the player base. It has its ups and downs like any other game. It is still being supported. There's still modes coming out. They've kind of got past the Loot Crate fiasco. But if you're not into mobile games or first-person shooters, there's not a whole lot out there for you. I remember, the heyday, there was, all kinds of Star Wars games, RPGs, KOTOR, flight simulators, you name it, and kind of miss that.
Yeah, it's getting there. They'll get back to it. They're still ramping everything up.
Yeah, and EA came out and said they were still committed to making Star Wars games, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but speaking of EA, and let's get into this game a little bit more. What things coming up in the calendar? Anything switch around? We have any updates or anything?
Yeah, kind of a big one. They came out, updated the calendar, and said, "Oh, by the way, JTR's coming out."
Well,
so if you need Jedi training Rey, well, guess what? So it'll be here very soon. It will launch on, trying to find my notes here, the 24th. And they've moved the Grand Arena date. Preview will now take place on the 20th. So it'll be tomorrow as you're listening to as you're recording.
Yeah, they just basically pushed that back a day just to prevent some of the overlap.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as the game stuff goes, we've got the Millennium Falcon event going on. We've got the second version of Territory Wars with the new fun and exciting additions to it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to get to it.
Yeah.
We've got a contraband cargo coming up on the 21st. Galactic bounties on the 22nd. Pieces of Plans, and with Ray Journey, we'll start on the 24th, along with the Pieces of Plans Mythic on the 26th. So that should take you through next week, and along with the Grand Arena.
Yeah, Grand Arena will be the main thing everybody's into more than anything else. So excited to see that come back and actually see what the layout's going to be, because they haven't said whether it's going to be that 3v3, the one like Urza, Tron, and I were talking about, whether it's going to be the 4 zones or the 2 zones. So interested to see what version of Grand Arena we get this go around.
Yeah, that will be. Oh, and also we've got another territory battle, Imperial Retaliation, starting in 2 days.
I'm kind of hoping that Grand Arena will run at the same time as territory battles at the very least. If they're going to run it with anything, they should just pair it up with TB. If there's a territory battle going on, there should be a Grand Arena going on at the same time.
Yeah, if you did a line graph of my interest in a game mode, I don't think a single mode could have dropped harder off than territory battles. I used to really look forward to them, really enjoyed them, but now, oh my God, I could care less about territory battle.
Yeah, the only thing kind of close to that would be a raid once your guild gets it pretty much on farm, and you get the raid reward character to 7 stars. As soon as you hit 7 stars, that's kind of the same drop off to me.
Yeah,
but
I mean, raid's still fun. You can still at least try to do some new characters and just mess around with theory crafting
and do more damage and everything. Yeah, territory battles, you go through and max out a zone, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm over this.
So CG, hire some interns, make them territory battle intern, do some programming on it, do Control F, insert fun, and make it happen.
Insert fun. It'll just be a pop up every time we go into the territory battle map. Have fun. Required.
Yeah, I don't like bitching without a solution, but I don't really know how to fix territory battles at this point. And we've talked about just new maps, new characters, and all that. But the existing ones we got, there's not a whole lot you can do with them.
No, I don't like the mechanic of it with relying purely on GP for getting stars. I think it should be more reliant on those waves. That if you aren't so reliant on deploying and you're more focused on those actual missions to actually get the stars, I think would be a better version of it. That way people have to pay attention, because right now you can just deploy everything pure GP, get all the way to phase 6 for the upper end guilds. I know the lower end guilds are still plodding along, but I really think it should be based on more on waves and the teams you create to get through waves than actually pure GP. And I think it would go through and get that interest up a little bit more. It'd be closer to a raid to me, honestly, in which you're building up specific teams to complete the waves to get better rewards.
Yeah, there's something. Maybe more bonus missions, add something to the guild event store to kind of liven it up some. I don't know, something. If y'all got some ideas out there, let us know. We'll do a segment on it next episode.
Yeah. But let's get right into what they did update, though. So we had this little... Well, I didn't. I heard about this mysterious text message, or message that appeared for some people, which they came out and said, well, we kind of added on a box and it was checked when it shouldn't have been, is all that was.
Yeah, somebody fat fingered something and just sent this message that said test out to Android users. So there's a little bit of conspiracy theories that maybe Android was going to get a new exclusive character. I don't know. I'm not reading really a whole lot into this.
Yeah,
Things happen.
I don't think it was really anything. I just think someone was rushing through and they hit submit and didn't realize the box was checked. Is all it was.
Right. They hit reply all instead of reply.
Yeah. And then the other thing we got was, which we talked about right at the start of the show, we got the Millennium Falcon event that came into the game exactly when we said it would too. They did not announce it or say this update was coming until basically the last possible moment. It really had me questioning what we were telling people, but it did came in exactly when we told people it would. And what were your thoughts of the event?
It was pretty cool. The cinematics weren't quite up there with some of the other events, but it was still a lot of fun. I haven't completed Tier 7 yet, so maybe they add something there. But after the C-3PO event, we had some voice acting and things like that. This seemed to be a little bit of a step back. But I will forgive that because we got some new ships in the game, at least for AI ships.
I think they were listening to Urza and I. Because
the
Urza wanted the B-Wing, and I mentioned the Y-Wing.
Yep, I remember that, yep.
And all of a sudden, we have a Millennium Falcon event, and both of them are there.
Yeah, so the models look great.
A little small.
Yeah, kind of small. They were far away. Maybe if they're on your team, they'll be bigger. So that was the first thing I noticed. I thought, that was pretty cool. As far as the actual event went, you hit auto, just go through it, level your stuff up. Not much more to it than that.
Yeah, I didn't have any difficulty either. I just hit auto and everything. But you have another ship in here that I did not see.
Yeah, the A-Wing, that was the reinforcement.
The ships never lasted that long for me. I never saw the reinforcement. That's probably why. I did not realize there was a reinforcement A-Wing, so that is pretty cool. I will apparently have to go through and kind of sandbag my fleet when I tried to do 6 and 7 stars to kind of see the character or the ship model of it.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing they added was Vader's capital ship.
That adding is a very loose.
Yes. It was Tarkin's capital ship reskinned or just renamed. All the animations looked the same. It was.
I just think it didn't have the final ability that the TIE Fighter swarm, right? I think that's the only thing it was taken out.
I think so. Again, the fights didn't last long enough to.
Yeah, to get there. I think they honestly took that out just so you had to fight with your ships. But other than that, all it was a renamed Tarkin ship. There wasn't really anything else to that. All the animations and, like you said, everything else was the same. So everybody's speculation that we were going to get a new capital ship because they said we will provide a ship. Yeah, wasn't really true. It just, they renamed the Executrix and said, hey, Vader.
Devastator.
Yeah. That's all it was, so nothing major there. So we both unlocked this. What are your impressions of the Millennium Falcon?
It is a bad MF.
Yeah, it is definitely arena-defining, meta-defining ship. I know in my ship shard, it's top 10, top 15, all had the Millennium Falcon. If you're getting past the Millennium Falcons without, or the only person I see getting past the Millennium Falcons without an Akbar lead or without the Millennium Falcon are guys that could easily climb up to rank 1. If it wasn't someone I saw in the top 10 beforehand, they are not getting anywhere near or even coming close to beating any Millennium Falcon that's on that shard now.
Yeah, there's a lot of basically have and have nots with Millennium Falcon now. This kind of some of the reports we're reading and hearing from some of the listeners. There's definitely a split to the point where shard chats are requesting that people take off their Millennium Falcons just so they can climb back up, which I kind of call BS on that one. If you're in this game enough to be in a shard chat and be competitive at that level. You should have seen this one coming.
Yeah, that's also my thought with a shard chat. I don't mind shard chats when you're using it to avoid people with upcoming payouts. That way people aren't wasting battles to go around people. But if you get to a point where you can't beat anybody, then you need to upgrade either your ship, your characters, your mods. You need to upgrade something to be able to climb up there higher. Those shard chats should only really be for avoiding people, preventing extra battles, and also preventing people from locking you out to be able to get it up to that highest level.
Yeah, that's kind of my take on it too.
And I've run into that. I went through and that's why I had to gear up Akbar, because I went through and was trying to take one, and the first and second place guys, the one guy would go in, his Akbar was so much quicker than me that he would attack, and I would be out of a ship first before I even got a turn. And I was like, well, that's game over, so I need to speed someone up or get better mods and start putting gear on my characters, because there's no way for me to beat him and take rank 1 this way.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, I mean, I'm able to get up to rank 1 now that I put a little bit more gear on Akbar. I think you said you were also?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was almost immediate. I've been in the 20s, dropping down to the mid 30s with the Geonosians and Houndstooth, and I could usually claw my way up to 18 to 15 if I just got the absolute perfect lineup. I could get top 10, but it was a long ride on the struggle bus for that. But with Millennium Falcon, it was night and day. I just climbed immediately, ended second the first night I got him, and only fell to 6th overnight, and it's pretty much stayed there.
Yeah. So what fleet are you using then?
I am using, and this was recommended by Zara in our chat, so thanks for that. I'm using Akbar lead with Houndstooth, Millennium Falcon, and Ghost as my initial ships. My reinforcements are Cassian, Biggs, shout out to you, Sev, Phantom, and Lando.
All right, yeah. It's a very good lineup there. Mine's going to be very similar to yours. Same starting lineup. And then as far as reinforcements, I have a little bit different. I do have Phantom and Biggs in there, but I have Wedge in there to kind of add in so I can call him in to get rid of Houndstooth on the opposing side. And that last reinforcement, I've been mixing up. I've been putting Boba Fett, Slave 1 in there. I've put the TIE Advanced in there. I've done Lando's Millennium Falcon in there. I've done Poe's ship. I've just been messing around with that. Usually don't get that far into the battle. I think I would leaning towards putting Cassian in there, though, as a final to kind of go through and do that out. And especially for Grand Arena and Territory Wars, I know I'm going to have to stop flip-flopping some of those ships.
Yeah, Cassian's good because he can come in and reinforce, do a dispel, take all the buffs off somebody, and then immediately call a move with assist. And anytime you can do that with Millennium Falcon, you're just one step ahead of the game.
Very true. And I think you're in the same spot that I am as far as having a Ship Omega bottleneck right now, because I went through, I did save up all my Ship Omegas. I haven't upgraded a ship since the Bounty Hunters came out. Like when IG-2000 first came out, I went through and upgraded his ship as much as possible. That was the last of the Ship Omegas that I used, saved them all up so I was able to max out Millennium Falcon, and then I went back and actually I didn't have Wedge maxed out, so I maxed out Wedge also, except for I think I need 9 more Ship Omegas and then his ship will be completely done. Then I'm going to be back on that, needing a lot of Ship Omegas to try to get like Cassian's ship maxed out. Lando's ship maxed out I want to do. Pistons looks interesting. I'm not 100% sold if I want to go through and gear up Biston for his ship, but the team looks a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I'm enjoying winning. Gotta say that is pretty fun. But yeah, Ship Omegas, man, I had to laugh. I was typing the show notes and I put that in there and I was doing the game and all that, and it hit the refresh for the store and I got a pop up. Hey, guess what's in the store now? Ship Omegas. So you can get that pack if you want to spend some crystals.
Oh, that store. Okay, I thought you meant like Shard Store. I was like, Shard Store?
Oh, no. Nope,
the money packs, of course.
Yep. Like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah. So, that's kind of what our thoughts on the Millennium Falcon. It is very good. Definitely worth getting at least 5 stars. 6 stars if you can.
Definitely.
I don't think everything that I've seen about it does not need to be 7 stars. Having it unlocked is good enough right now, and it will make a huge difference in your fleet.
Yeah, unless you're just in a hyper-competitive fleet shard, I wouldn't break the bank trying to get it to 7 stars or everything like that. Just get it unlocked and naturally increase your other ships as you can. I don't even have all the skills up on my Ghost or some of my reinforcements, is simply because of the Omega bottleneck, and I'm still not having any issues.
I have all those maxed out. I have Ghost and Phantom and everybody maxed out on my ship lineup. But yeah, for you it's nice because you have a lot of room to grow there too.
Yeah.
As far as being able to go through and clear out ships a lot quicker going that way. So definitely worth going and getting the Millennium Falcon unlocked. It'll make your life a lot easier and will definitely help out in your ship arena and get some more crystals to be able to help out for any future panic farms.
Yeah, we probably will have one pretty soon.
Yeah, it does seem like it's leaning towards that, but before we get there, we had this territory wars.
More like terrible Tory.
What? Terrible wars? Jeez, yeah, the community, quote unquote, community territory wars impressions. What were your thoughts?
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I don't know how much it was the mode itself or maybe just the timing of it. It's been a while since we had one. But I really wasn't feeling it.
We got paired up against a territory war focused guild, so it made it difficult on us, number one. And then two, like you said, I didn't hate it, but I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun to me. I didn't get to use the characters I wanted to. I enjoyed the aspect of theory crafting teams for it.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is our guild's not super territory war focused. We have a handful of people that are really all about it. Our general does a great job of strategizing and putting information out there. But when you have this much of a change, it's impossible for them to really get a clear and concise plan together for a guild, especially when you have people that just aren't as engaged as a lot of the top end players. They play for 10, 15 minutes at a time. They're not going to go watch YouTube strategies. They're not going to read 20 Discord channels. They're just going to go on, see what's happening. Well, whatever.
Well, it's like I enjoyed the theory crafting part of it, but the only problem with that is I know what teams that would work best with the bans happening. I can't build that on my roster. The only people that are going to be able to build that on their roster are basically people that actually spend or have spent quite a bit of money and have a lot more of these characters geared up just because they don't have anything else to work on, which is a very small number of players. People like me, it's like I don't have characters like that. I could go through and figure out what the best first order team is. I can't build it. I can go through and figure out what is the best bounty hunter team, but I can't build it. I had a fun time theory crafting what teams would work the best, but at no point could I use those teams because I don't have them geared up. I don't have them modded. And I did not have enough time to be able to gear up or star up or remod these characters to be able to do that. So that's kind of why I didn't really enjoy it when the event was happening.
Yeah, and we kind of went back to an older strategy and put a lot of first order on defense. And with the Ewoks not being touched as far as any banned characters, they just got walked. Our first order got walked all over. So it was a combination of just timing of the event.
That was an oversight. We probably should have had Xeris in there with them. Xeris in there with the first order, they pretty much nullify Ewoks that way.
Yeah, so tactical mistake there. Whatever, it happens. So a lot of people, first time they log in, half the board or all the board's clear. That's a complete demotivator. Nobody's really going to try. So we had a lot of that too. So it was a good try to shake things up. I just don't think that it really resonated with the community.
I think it resonated more with the upper end guilds. Basically, if you went through and opened up the leaderboards, the top 10 in there, I think it would have been it's a lot more interesting on their level having those bans, because the majority of those players have characters to basically fill in those gaps. Anything below that, I think people really didn't enjoy it because it really hurt the teams they wanted to use.
Right. Now, you know what? I was just thinking about that. Like with our rosters, we don't have everybody max, so we're able to get probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 good characters, and then 1 Gear 10, Gear 11 character in there, just kind of rounded out. But even if all the pieces are there, we couldn't execute on the strategy because we were still just out-geared going up against our opponents. So if they're
and very much outmodded. I went there and turned around. I was telling you, I went up against a Bastila team that had a Grandmaster Yoda. I don't look at mods. I just go in. I'm like, all right, well, check them out. Fractured Grandmaster Yoda taking on the team, looking good. He comes out of Fracture, all of a sudden goes ballistic, starts wiping people out. Finish up the battle, and I'm like, that got real ugly. Got out of there quickly. I was like, I have to check this guy's mods out. Go through, click on Grandmaster Yoda, plus 149 speed, plus 1300 offense. And I'm like, well, no wonder. He's super fast and hits like a truck. Like, no wonder he wiped my team. I was not expecting that. Those are some ridiculous mods, especially that offense came from all secondaries off of speed sets. Ugh, it was ridiculous. His mods were pretty amazing. I think they were all plus 20s.
Yeah, that's nuts. I'm quickly learning more and more that I got to put a lot more focus into mods. It just has not been my just strong focus, but I'm really starting to try to build some more sets out. So yeah, that territory war happened. We got smashed pretty hard, but now we are in kind of the other end of the spectrum where the faction bonuses are back, and they've got some pretty interesting ones this time around.
Yeah, we have Ewoks have bonuses, Jawas have bonuses, Imperial Troopers, Clone Troopers, and First Order ships. I think that's all of them have bonuses, and I do agree. This is a lot more fun because you can use a couple of the factions that aren't used before. It has us scratching our heads when we see a Clone Trooper wall on how to get through them. And even if we lose, I'm still having a lot more fun competing in territory wars right now in this game mode versus the last one. The last one just was very painful, trying to figure out what teams to go through and use. This one is a lot more fun because it's giving me more options to play with within the territory wars.
Right, yeah, and people like being given things more than they like having things taken from them. So just psychologically, this feels better. But yeah, and the part of me that just sees these clone troopers going ham makes me so happy. I want to see them just in a spot of glory one day in this game, and this was a glimpse in that glorious future.
Yeah, the Imperial Troopers one is very very interesting also. That seems like a very fun team.
Yeah, let's go and just talk about these bonuses. So Imperial Troopers, we have Endless Ranks, and that is at the start of the battle, Imperial Troopers gain 5 stacks of Endless Ranks. And when the enemy is defeated, all Imperial Troopers gain 1 stack up to 10 stacks. And so for Endless Ranks means when the Imperial Trooper is defeated, they consume 1 stack of Endless Ranks from all Imperial Trooper allies, revive with 100% health and 100% protection. So reset all their cooldowns and gain a bonus turn. So basically, they've got 10 lives every time somebody dies. So they start off with 5 and then get up to 10 lives, which I think is pretty cool. I think that normal, boring stormtroopers should have this all the time.
That might be arena defining as far as climbing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very cool mechanic, and I do like it added for Territory Wars. I have no complaints about it. Very fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. So then we talked about Clone Troopers. They have Army of the Galactic Republic. At the start of the battle, Clone Troopers gain 50% health, 50% protection, 50% offense and defense for each Clone Trooper ally. Clone Troopers gain 100% critical chance and 100% critical damage while they have no debuffs when they attack out of turn. Clone Troopers dispel all debuffs on other Clone Trooper allies, dispel all buffs on the target enemy, and gain 20% turn meter. So if you've got a Zeta Cody, everybody's attacking out of turn all the time, and fun is had by all.
Except when you're going against them on defense.
Right, yeah. Now, this next one is crazy. The Fury of the Forest, Ewoks. Ewoks have a cooldown of 0 on all abilities. Did you try this?
I placed my Ewoks on defense, so I did not, unfortunately.
I saved mine for offense, and it was nuts. You just kept going. Just kept going.
I definitely should have saved them for offense, but I did not. So it is what it is. So what else do we got? We got Jawas.
Yeah, they got the Ruthless Salvagers bonus. They have 50% chance to stun the target enemy when they use an ability which can't be evaded. They gain 20% offense for each stunned enemy. So if you get everybody stunned, that's 100% offense. When Jawas attack a stunned enemy, they shock them for 2 turns and call other Jawas to assist. Jawas that are called to assist can call other Jawas for further assist. So you can get into a situation where you are just going nonstop. Like, they are just blasting fools.
Yeah, it seems like kind of like an advantage from having to farm Jawas to get your critical damage mods.
Right, yeah. It was a fun team. I went up against bounty hunters. They weren't able to get through Bosk, just because they're not geared up. They're pretty weak sauce, so I did give up a loss for our Territory Wars. I apologize, but it's for the greater good. I had to get something to talk about for the show.
I'm going to go through and use my Jawas at some point just as a cleanup team.
You might want to hurry. Our board is getting to be pretty slim pickings.
Well, we'll get there. If it's cleared, I'm going to be happy and I will not complain. But other than that, that was my goal, is to use them as a cleanup squad if I have to.
All right. Then finally, ships got a bonus for First Order, full-blown assault. First Order allies gain advantage for 2 turns at the start of the battle whenever they are inflicted with a debuff. If they have advantage when they use an ability, First Order allies recover 10% health and 10% protection and inflict target lock on the target enemy for 2 turns. That's all nice and good, but I used my Millennium Falcon against them, and you can't do any of that if you're dead.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I went through and took my Millennium Falcon and took Kylo's TIE Slicer, just blew it out of the water in one hit and just kind of picked everybody off, and then used a little cleanup team. I actually used my First Order ships that I don't have any of the pilots geared, and just kind of threw them in there with a random hodgepodge team to clean up someone else's fleet that they left over.
Yeah, we're going to have to theory craft a good counter to Millennium Falcon, because I foresee the Millennium Falcon wall, the MF wall.
That could get real ugly. on the opposite side if they put their Millennium Falcon also. Who can get through the Millennium Falcon?
That's it, yep.
But so, yeah, either way, I do like we said, do like these territory wars in which we have a bonus. I don't think we need this many bonuses all in one go. I think if we just did, say, Ewoks and Jawas or Imperial Troopers and Clone Troopers together, I think that would have been enough. I don't think we need 5 or 6 of them. I think 2 to 3 bonuses would be nice per territory war. We don't need to go crazy and have 5 and 6.
Well, here's kind of my idea. What if they kind of combine the two? Like you have a handful of banned characters, but kind of replacement characters get a buff. So say... Well,
not even replacement. I see where you're going with this. Not even replacement characters. Say if we had those banned characters, but the clones were untouched and have bonuses, or the Jawas were obviously untouched and have bonuses. That way you can kind of bump up teams with these bonus characters. Yeah.
Or like, say ban Scavenger Ray, but give Rose a buff. So you can still use your resistance team, and that kind of encourages you to experiment with other characters and get to know their kit. Obviously in a little more advanced version of it, but that may meet what they're trying to do. Because they want everybody to gear every character in the game or have a reason to.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a fun way to do it.
It might be a better compromise as far as doing banned characters, and you could even do a community vote and say you're going through and have a list of banned characters. You need to select so many, and then on the other side, all right, if you're banning these characters, which bonuses would you like?
Yeah.
And try to pair them up.
I still think out of the 3 kind of variations we've had, the specific character bonus, the faction bonus, and the banned characters, I kind of like the specific character bonuses the best. It was just so much fun seeing, Cup go ham or Mace just wipe out a full Sith team.
Yeah, the Mace, even Grievous. Grievous was another one that was good to see. I couldn't use them to be able to see the bonuses, but watching YouTube clips of other people using General Grievous in territory wars with the bonuses was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because especially if you're that guy that, man, you just love Eth Koth. You're the president of the Eth Koth fan club. You've got his posters on his wall, whatever, and he finally comes up and has the bonus, and you can be the hero. That's like the best feeling in the game.
Yes, it would be, and hopefully that's where guilds get to have that one random person become the savior for a round. But let's get a little bit more into what other updates happened, because we went through, and you mentioned that you're going to have to work on mods a lot more. I mentioned it right after Grand Arena that I really need to start focusing on mods also. And then, wham, we get a Shard Shop update, and they put Gear 12 Salvage and Mod Salvage in there.
Yes, this was a surprise, a pleasant one.
Yeah, I was going to say, this goes in perfectly to where I was shifting my focus within the game, so I can actually get more of this mod salvage to actually slice mods and get them up to snuff with better speed, better offense, and actual primary stats. So I was really glad to see this.
Yeah, and the exchange rate isn't terrible. I mean, with all these events we're having going on, I'm typically sitting on a couple thousand in the Shard Shop at all times. And so I'm able to pretty much get 6-7 pieces of the Mark II pulse modulator a day, plus whatever Gear 12 pieces. It seems a little too easy. And I kind of have a sneaking suspicion this may...
No, don't say it. Don't. I know where you're going with this. No.
You know what I'm going to say.
No.
You know what I'm going to say.
No. Level cap 90. That's where you're going.
No. It seems to me like they are clearing a path to that last Gear 12 piece and maybe higher tiers of 6-dot mods. Like 6.D, 6.C, maybe.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to grind out up to that level, and still whatever new event comes up, you have your aspirational event to get that gear whatever the new events are.
All right, I wasn't thinking about slicing up the mods any higher, but I could see that. I was hoping you weren't going to say Gear 13. That gets a little, ugh. I don't know.
I kind of think, I mean, it's going to happen eventually.
No, but wouldn't a level cap happen first? So since the last level cap, we went through and got, 2 more tiers of gear? And now we went through and got a new tier level of mods also? I think that level cap is in danger of going up at some point.
Yeah, and that would...
It's been a long time.
It has, and Grand Arena gives a reason to level your characters again.
Yes. I think, when was the last level cap would have been tank raid, right? HAAT?
They may, after tank raid, I believe.
I thought it was right before because people were going in with level 80 characters and eking through the tank, and then as people got up to level 85, it was getting a little bit easier as we went. But it's either way, it's been a while. It's right around that time period.
Yeah, I'm seeing if I can...
I know where to look for it, but to go through, we had that great addition, kind of leads to like what you're saying, but we also had some more speculation with what they dropped in free to play.
Yeah, we got
Annie Starfighter.
Yeah, finally.
That's all the speculation. Everybody's going through. Annie Starfighter came in, so that Mace fleet's going to be absolutely amazing now.
Yep, just in time. Yeah, Annie's ship came out, which is a good ship. I'm glad to see it out there. But we also got Fallen Bastila and Canderous Ordo. We were kind of expecting them to hit the first week of February, and here they are. So about 3 weeks earlier than we anticipated. And
that anticipation was based on when they first came into the game. We did not adjust that for when they actually got dropped into the shipment store, and they got dropped into the shipment store about 2 weeks earlier than we thought there.
Yeah, I'm still keeping the estimate at the 6 weeks. 6 weeks from marquee to shipment, 6 weeks from shipment to free to play. But historically, it's been 5 weeks or so, maybe a little bit sooner, depending on what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
So
that leads to Juhani and Karth probably coming out either next week or at the very latest the following week.
Right. They hit shipments on the 9th. They released 2 weeks after Fallen Bastila and Canderous marquee events. So if they're pushing up everything, look to see them next week. Looking at the calendar, I think it's going to be the full 2 weeks.
But I mean, either way, we're going through speculating. Let's get into why we're speculating this, because we have been saying as soon as these characters drop that we expect this to be the next panic farm for either Darth Revan or Darth Malak. So save your crystals, look for any gift card deals or anything, get those up, and start farming those characters. That's also kind of why I went through and completely changed my farming strategy. I was going to go through, like all the other legendary events, all right, I need these ships. I'm going to get the Millennium Falcon unlocked. I'm going to continue farming these ships up to 7 stars. And then as soon as they're 7 stars, go back to what I was working on before. Yeah, that got thrown out the door. Millennium Falcon is good enough at 5 stars. So as soon as I got the last shards of IG 2000, got dropped, it was a day after. Actually, I don't even think it was a day after. I think it was that. Yes, it was the day after this update dropped, and Darkside Bastila got put into shipment or into our hard node. Got the last bit of IG 2000. Stopped farming Xanadu Blood and IG 2000. Going to continue on Houndstooth because it's still in my fleet arena, and went completely towards Darkside Bastila. That's what I'm going with. Canderous, I haven't gone all in yet, but because I'm getting top 5 and first place in Fleet Arena now, getting a lot more crystals. I can afford to buy those 100 refresh Cantina Energy. Buying all 3 of those, that way I can finish up L3, who's almost done. I'm at 64 of 100, so I'm going to finish up L3 real quick and then go on Canderous, and I'm going to be buying those 3 100 refreshes for Cantina to speed up that farm until I have them done. And I'm buying a refresh on Bastila to try to go through and speed those up and try to get ready for any of this.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they spread out where they went. Annie's went to fleet battles, which makes sense. It's a ship. Bastila went to a hard node, which makes sense. Went to dark side, so thankfully I finally have something to spend dark side energy on that's not just throwing away on gear. And Canderous went to Cantina. He's in I believe 16 energy. Yeah, no, 12 energy.
12 energy. He's, I was going to say.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I don't know. I haven't started farming him yet. I'm going L3 first just because I was so close to finishing her up.
Yeah, so he's on 12 energy, which isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. I'm doing pretty well farming him with the 3 refreshes. But yeah, this is all coming into play. We talked about it on episode 57, kind of what we thought the calendar would look like, and if we compare it to Jedi Revan event, it was 3 months and a week between Lightside Bastila's marquee event and Jedi Revan event. So if you do the same amount of time, that puts us at February 22nd for whatever event these characters will be needed for. And this is starting to line up. If we have 2 weeks from this episode for them to go free to play, that would be toward the end of the month, and that would give us 3 weeks to farm Juhani and Karth, which is typically about the amount of time they've been giving us to farm them.
Yeah, definitely lining up exactly how we thought, lining up perfectly for their February 6th month. Now, this also leads to, what do we think this event's going to be? I should say also that my first thought also is Jedi Knight Revan will be coming back right before this event hits. So I would expect the middle of February, that February 16th to 13th range, that Jedi Knight Revan will be coming back for the first time. Or second time, I should say.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him soon. I think he is had his time in the sun. The early adopters have gotten plenty of use out of him. I can see him bringing him back.
Now, the reason why I think they're going to be bringing him back, because, as I said, my thoughts are Malak or Revan. I'm kind of leaning towards Malak, because I went through and got asked this, and they're like, so, with them becoming farmable, what's your first impression on what do you think is going to happen with this legendary event? My first impression was the Old Republic faction is going to be needed for this legendary event. So that's going to include Lightside Bastila, Mission, Zalbar, but it's going to have a Chewie level difficulty, and the Panic Farm is going to be more for Karth and maybe Canderous because of their Zetas and definitely Karth's leadership ability to get through this event. Kind of like the Bounty Hunters, where you really wanted to have Bosk as Zeta leadership to be able to get Chewie. Also, you kind of really needed Dengar in there to be able to survive those first waves and get that rolling to get through the Chewie event. I think these newer characters are going to be crucial to get through the event, is my first initial thought of how this event will play out on what will be needed.
Yeah, it would. I don't know. I still kind of think it's just going to be Darth Revan, and you need the KOTOR events and just a simple event like that.
I originally thought that, but because like when these KOTOR characters first came out and they were dark side and light side, if they were all dark side, I would agree with that. But since they're both, it kind of has me thinking it's going to be something else.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I would love to see a more in-depth, a more advanced journey type event that needs more players. And we get Malik and we get Darth Revan, through two different types of events. That would be my ideal world. I just...
But I mean,
everything else going on in the game, I don't know.
I think that's where it's going to go. I mean, I don't think Jedi Knight Revan's going to be... If that's the event, Jedi Knight Revan will not be required. But obviously, if you have Jedi Knight Revan, you could use him because he does have that Old Republic tag. So it does lead to a few options as far as how to get through the event. So maybe Jedi Knight Revan does not come out before this event to try to give them people with Jedi Knight Revan a little bit of an advantage to be able to get through this event. And then basically, if that happens, I would expect Darth Revan to come out at some point after this and actually require Malik, require Jedi Knight Revan, maybe require Traya. Because looking at the Millennium Falcon requirements, you need a legendary character in Chewbacca to be able to pilot. You need a raid character in Han Solo. So they're starting to make these legendary ships and even characters a lot more advanced, more difficult to get as far as the character requirements for them. So I can start seeing them throw multiple legendary or raid characters in there to get characters. So you have a interesting or a linear progression that you need to get Chewbacca to get the Millennium Falcon. You need to have Raid Han and the Rancor completed before you can get that ultimate ship. Maybe you need to have Traya. Maybe you need to have Jedi Knight Revan to be able to go through. And you just see that progression on which way you want to go through to get different characters within the game.
Yeah, that would make sense. I do think we're going to see more tertiary legendary events. With the Millennium Falcon, we have to have two legendary or raid character and legendary character to use that. And I do think we're going to continue to see that being built on because there are a lot more in-game players that they're going to need something to do.
I think that's a good way to actually start doing that. Even as a newer character or newer player, you'll be able to see that end goal and be like, all right, I need to go through and complete this character if that's my end goal, is to, say, get Darth Revan. On the flip side, it could be very much like Jedi Luke, in which you need CLS, you need Raid Han, you need Chewbacca, you need R2. Same way. Okay, I need to concentrate on these characters if my ultimate goal is Jedi Luke. Instead of Darth Revan, you kind of have two paths depending on which way you want to go. Yeah,
true. That was just kind of a side thought. That's also a good thing with, I guess, Grand Arena and all that. You're not as tied to the latest meta as you were before that mode came out. So if you do go after CLS, or you are still going after JTR, you don't necessarily feel like you're way behind because you're not going after the latest and greatest. You're still going to get a lot more use out of that shiny new character than you had in the past.
That, and also CG has been very, very good at doing the rock, paper, scissors arena metas now. That Jedi Knight Revan's there, but I can be Jedi Knight Revan with Traya. You can also be Jedi Knight Revan with CLS. You can also be Jedi Knight Revan with JTR. And all those teams have possibilities of defeating each other. Granted, some hold better on defense than others, but you can at least climb. You can at least win battles with them. So as you're progressing, it's not actually hampering you because you need to go after that perfect character and that perfect lineup anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm thinking this is going. I'm leaning more towards that. I mean, the other second thought that we kind of tossed around and you kind of mentioned is those four characters are going to be needed with the fifth to get either Malik or Revan. Now that fifth could be Jedi Knight Revan, or my other thought would be HK actually gets an Old Republic tag, and that would be your fifth.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see that with a droid rework. just in general to kind of start moving into the Clone Wars era.
Even just an HK-47 rework to kind of kick it off would be a good way to start. So those are basically the two options that I'm seeing it going through. But I'm really starting to... The more I hear about it, the more I'm seeing in the game, the more I'm talking about it with people, I'm leaning a lot more heavily on that Old Republic faction is going to be needed, and it's going to be a very difficult event like Chewie.
Yeah, I would lean that way too.
Especially since everybody was going through with getting Jedi Knight Revan, they weren't gearing up anybody for the Old Republic, so this is going to require not only farming characters, but also gearing them.
All right. Now, we could be wrong. I mean, I wouldn't go get your Canderous to gear 12 just yet. You can always save gear and have it on standby.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to start putting a little on the side if you can.
It's not a perfect time to panic just yet, but you can prepare for it.
Right.
So we got anything else this week?
Not really in the game. We did have a few, listener questions. Where they did ask about Malik versus Revan event. Brendo Macabo had some kind of interesting stats he wanted us to talk about. He was digging through some of the revenue charts and SWGOH. Turns out there's about 11,000 Revans out there, which really, well, of course, these are tied to SWGOH.gg accounts. So it's just not completely reflective of the entire population of the game.
And there are plenty of people that have their accounts either basically locked down or took them off because they want to sandbag and not let people see what they actually have.
Yeah, true. So that was kind of an interesting number. What that really means, I don't know. I see them everywhere. The biggest money month was, over the last 2 years, was March of 2018. Which was the Sith raid.
Yep. That was I don't remember if it was the announcement of the Sith raid or right when the Sith raid started and everybody realized how many teams they need to gear up. But either way, It was right around there and everybody was spending money to buy gear and get gear on characters.
Right. And just talking about money per month, the game made... $14 million last month. And you kind of looking at it's only 11,000 players that have Revan. And they obviously didn't spend 500,000, 5,000 each. So there's a lot of money coming in this game, and it's not just in-game whale players.
Yeah, they've been very good. They've been very consistent. I mean, they've made the same amount January to December last year as they have done in 2017. So they're averaging about $12.5 million a month. So it's the very consistent revenue stream for them.
Yeah. And I'm kind of thinking of like the player progression to the game. I'm definitely considering myself an in-game player, and I haven't spent any money, and I guess since the Revan event, I bought the packs to get me caught up on that. But since then, I haven't spent a dime.
Yeah, I mean,
but earlier on in the game, it was $20 here and there, and especially like for Thrawn, I think that was the first event that really got me to quote unquote whale out.
Yeah, but I think it just basically those stats just lead to it's a very healthy game. There's enough newer players coming in and actually spending money to actually support the game. The older players are spending less, but they're still engaged. So I think that's good for the game overall.
Oh, yeah. But speaking of Thrawn and me spending money for it, that turned out to be one of the worst months was when Thrawn came out. And we talked before the show, we talked about kind of why we thought that was. And I think a lot of it was, we were able to get a lot of the required characters out of the stores.
Yeah, it was a combination. I mean, people didn't like how they announced everything and said, hey, you have, not even 2 weeks to get all these characters to 7 stars for this event, which is part of it. They had characters in the shard shop, which allowed players to go through. Some people actually went through and were anticipating that faction would be needed for something, or they already had all the... There was no other reason to actually buy all these shards and put it all towards shard shop currency at that time. So a lot of people had store currency saved up and was able to go through and spend it immediately. So there wasn't really any money or any need to spend any money.
Yeah, and I think that was the first kind of real panic farm that was put into the game. It was
the real panic farm, but if people had any sort of currency saved up, or actually not even currency saved up, just what you got daily was enough to get you to like 6.5 stars, so you really didn't even have to buy that many shards to get the characters maxed out, which would equate to a lower spending month.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny, like kind of just the takeaway from these stats is that it would appear that raids are what makes money in this game. You know, these marquee events, these legendary events, they do okay, but you really see the spike when people are gearing up and trying to get ready for these new raids. And so while we don't see more...
Stan, are you trying to say the better the content, the more people spend?
Just maybe. I know that sounds crazy when you put it out there like that.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
That is a crazy thought, but yeah, I agree. The raids are the biggest money. It's the biggest attention draw. We even see that with the podcast. We get more engagement with people when we're talking about the Sith raid, and those type of events are coming out because people are trying to figure out strategies to get through the Sith raid. Grand Arena is the same way. People are trying to figure out strategies to go through, and they want to see people battling and trying different teams out. So,
yeah,
better the content, the more engagement, the more people will spend.
Yeah, that is true. And I wish we had more things to really dig in Theorycraft on that. You know, these last couple of territory wars, just the way our recording schedule has come up, we haven't had a chance to really get in there and do a whole lot beforehand. Having ours on helped a lot. But yeah, I really like raid shows and getting teams together for that, going through the phases. To me, that's a ton of fun. That's my happy place in this game.
Yeah, I like more of I like the guild management side of it, but I also do like the raids and coordination and building teams. So I like building up teams and being able to use them. So I like a little bit of everything. But yeah. So I think that's all we got this week. So with all this craziness going around, shifting everything around, what are you bumping and grinding on? Oh
man, I'm in panic farm mode. I am saving my gear up, putting a little bit on rebels for my fleet, kind of see how that shakes out. Kind of in a holding pattern until our fleet arena stabilizes once the event's over. But yeah, I'm focusing on Fallen Bastila and Candace right now. Django's on hold. IG-2000, I'm going to finish him out, obviously. Got 15 more shards to go. B-28, whatever. I'll get to him when I get to him. In the fleet store, I'm kind of torn. I'm at 42 of 100 on Sith Fighter and 13 of 30 on Anakin's ship. Anakin's ship is a better ship all day long. I will not argue against that. But the fact that we have a Sith Fighter in a hard node farm, just my panic senses are tingling that we may need Sith ships for something. So I'm tempted to go ahead and just finish out Sith Fighter.
If you're gonna drop B-28, you don't have to worry about Sith Fighter. It's only worth if you're gonna start farming or continue farming B-28. That's the only way it's gonna make a difference.
I mean, I'm gonna get them all eventually. But
gotta collect them all. Gotta catch them all.
You got to. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. What about you?
Well, I guess I completely forgot with all these events going on that I actually did finish up in Gear 12 C-3PO.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Completely forgot about that earlier because just the way everything's been going down. But yeah, I've been going through basically gearing up some of my rebels and trying to finish out the Scoundrel team, really. But other than that, like I said, I'm going after Darkside Bastila, finishing up L3, and going to Canderous, and finishing up Vandor Chewbacca. Then I will go back and see how much regular energy I have and start allocating some of it more back towards those bounty hunter ships to try to finish them up eventually. But they're definitely getting a backseat to these KOTOR characters.
Yeah. If you're a betting person, that's where you need to be farming.
Yeah, the gear one is kind of where I'm torn, whether to finish out that Scoundrel team and get Mission and Big Z all geared up and ready to go for a team, or concentrate more on my Rebels like Zeb and Wedge and get them up to gear 12 to help out my fleet more, which I'm torn about. I'm not sure which way I'm going, kind of leaning a little bit half and half. Hedge my bets. I want to go through and finish part of the Scoundrel team and then go from there. See how I hold in my fleet arena also.
Yeah, Scoundrels, you could, unless you just have a soft spot for it, you could probably do okay without Mission.
Nah, I'm doing, because I have Nest going in other places, so I need the Mission and Zalbar kind of paired up for that team that I'm planning on running.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Nest goes into Night Sisters or Bounty Hunters or somewhere else, so, or just a single tune cleanup squad in Grand Arena. But that's all I got this week. You got anything else before we head on out of here? Jump out of the panic room?
I got the mop in hand already. I'm ready to clean this place up and get on out of here.
All right.
Yeah, y'all know the deal. Review us if you can. Helps other people find the show. Share the show with your guild if you enjoy it. Just again, we're trying to grow the show this year, get a little better, get some more gifts, do all that fun stuff. Join our Discord. Holler at us there. Find us on thealliancegaming.com. You can email us at cantinavizla@gmail.com. Again, if so inclined, find us on patreon.com/cantinavizla. Your support is appreciated.
All right, guys. So, like Stan said, clean all that up for us, and we'll get on out of here, and we'll see you next week. Later, guys. As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the hollow table soon.